A dog was trapped inside a car, nearly dying from the heat. Tears streamed down its face, and its nose ran uncontrollably. Its vision grew increasingly blurry, with its tongue hanging out. It was on the brink of death. But just then, someone smashed the car window with a hammer. In its dazed state, it saw a warm face looking anxiously at it. Then, it passed out. When it woke up, it saw a little boy gazing at it with excitement. It turned out that a mother and her son passing by had saved it from the verge of death. The dog seemed to sense the kindness radiating from the boy and began kissing him. Ethan was instantly smitten by the adorable dog and decided on the spot to adopt it. However, keeping a dog at home required his father's permission. After much persuasion from his mother, Ethan's father agreed to let him adopt the dog. This made Ethan absolutely overjoyed. The next day, accompanied by his mother, Ethan got a custom dog tag made for the dog. One side bore the dog's name, Bailey, and the other side had the boy's name, Ethan. From that day on, Bailey had a loving home and an owner who adored him. They played together in the garden all day long, and even hid under the same blanket at night, secretly reading comic books. Both father and mother doted on it. The only exception was the family cat, which held a grudge against him. Every time Bailey tried to be friendly, he was coldly rejected. Happy times always slip away quietly in the blink of an eye. In what felt like no time, Bailey had grown into a handsome big dog. One day, the family went to visit Grandma's house. From the look in Bailey's eyes, it was clear he was fascinated by the place. Everything along the way filled him with curiosity. Sure enough, as soon as they arrived, he unleashed his playful nature, chasing the little hen around to forcefully befriend her and running wild across the wide grassy fields. When he got hungry, he dashed back home like a gust of wind and devoured his food in a storm-like frenzy. Then, he couldn't wait to run back out and joyfully chased after a ball. He even took the time to carefully inspect the donkey droppings in the grass. When he got tired, he simply rolled around on the fragrant donkey droppings. This relaxing life was truly a dog's dream come true. Soon, Bailey won the affection of his grandparents. Bailey felt that older people simply understood dogs better. Grandpa secretly fed him chicken feet under the table, and Grandma gently massaged his big head with her foot. What should have been a relaxed and joyful family gathering was unexpectedly disrupted when Ethan's father continuously vented about his career frustrations, shattering the rare peace. Too young to understand adult worries, Ethan took Bailey outside. His innocent mind couldn't yet grasp the troubles of grown-up life, so he quickly forgot his unhappiness and played fetch with Bailey. When he saw his father come out, the sensible Ethan, hoping to cheer him up, enthusiastically demonstrated the high-altitude fetch game he and Bailey had invented. But his father only responded with a half-hearted "not bad." And just like that, the pleasant weekend came to an abrupt end, and life returned to its usual routine. In the morning, Bailey reluctantly saw Ethan off to school, and soon after, his mother left for work. Only Bailey and the unfriendly cat were left at home. Home alone, Bailey felt incredibly bored and could only try to play with the unfriendly cat. But the cat wanted nothing to do with him and ran away. And so, a chase ensued between the dog and the cat, wreaking havoc from the living room all the way to Dad's study. When Ethan returned home from school and saw the mess, he stood frozen in shock and hurriedly began cleaning up the chaos Bailey had caused. Just then, his father also came home. Seeing his study in disarray, he was immediately furious. Unaware of his mistake, Bailey eagerly picked up his father's slipper and ran outside, hoping to play.
That's mine! That's mine! You come with me!
But his furious father dragged him straight back to Ethan. He pressed Bailey by the neck and scolded his son.
Just take him! And you say, I am the boss! You gotta show him who's boss!
Little did he know that the term big guy would years later help Ethan recognize the reincarnated Bailey. Ethan had no choice but to hurry and clean up. But to his surprise, when he called for Bailey, he shouted, "Hey, big guy!" Bailey actually quite liked being called that.
Why? Because I'm the boss, that's why. I'm the boss, man. You're the boss dog. Boss dog.
In an attempt to get a promotion, the father prepared a gold commemorative coin he had collected for years, intending to gift it to his boss to gain favor. However, Bailey accidentally swallowed it. At the dinner table, just as the father was about to present the gold coin to his boss, Ethan sensed trouble and quickly made up a story about a mouse in the house. As a result, the carefully planned dinner turned into complete chaos. The boss's wife even took a hard fall, completely shattering the father's hopes for a promotion. Although the promotion had nothing to do with the dinner, the father still directed all his anger toward Bailey, immediately driving him out of the house and locking him in the storage room. clueless about what had happened, Bailey only sensed that the atmosphere at home wasn't right tonight, and that his young master seemed especially worried about him. So he sneaked out and slipped into the bedroom. He didn't want Ethan to be sad and wanted to stay by his side. The next day, to ease his father's bad mood, Ethan played fetch with Bailey on the lawn, hoping it might cheer him up. But for a man facing a career crisis, a sour mood isn't so easily improved. The father took one look and turned back into the house. In what felt like a blink, Ethan had grown into a handsome young man and become a key player on the school's football team. But the father, now completely unemployed, stayed home all day, depressed and indifferent to his son's achievements. Watching the dejected father, Bailey felt the joy had gone from the house and thought how pitiful he seemed. Fortunately, Ethan never left his side. Even taking him to an amusement park, Bailey was thrilled, sniffing the mix of smells in the air and watching the bustling crowds. Just then, he noticed a change in Ethan's scent and followed his gaze. Ethan was staring intently at a girl, his eyes shining. Bailey instantly understood what was on Ethan's mind. He ran up and nudged the girl, startling her. Flustered, Ethan explained to the frightened girl, "The dog did it. I definitely didn't tell him to do that." His clumsy explanation made the girl laugh. She thought to herself, what bad intentions could a dog have? It must have been the owner's idea. Amused by the mischievous Bailey, the girl gently rubbed his face and was quickly charmed by him and also taken with the handsome Ethan. Just like that, with Bailey's help, Ethan and Hannah fell in love. After that, the two often went on dates, spending time together riding roller coasters, driving around, and playing by the river, and Bailey became the ultimate third wheel, witnessing their sweet romance grow. Even with Hannah in the picture, Bailey felt he received more love than ever. Hannah doted on him just as much as Ethan did, but good times always seemed to be disrupted for unknown reasons. The jobless father began drinking heavily and sometimes lost control of his emotions. Ethan was disappointed in his father. He couldn't understand why his once kind dad had changed so much, but the father saw the look of disappointment as a sign of disrespect from his son. Even though Ethan tried to calm him, it only led to harsh words. In the struggle, the father shoved the mother to the ground. Ethan had had enough. He pushed his father down and yelled at him to leave. Just like that, the once happy family fell apart. Bailey didn't understand what it meant. He only knew that after that, the father was gone from the house. The family cat also passed away around the same time. Bailey watched as Ethan and his mother buried it in the garden. Still too innocent to grasp the meaning of death, he thought the cat was playing hide and seek, so he excitedly dug it up and carried it to his mother. The sudden act made her scream in shock, and Bailey had to slink away. Despite the family troubles, Ethan excelled in his studies. Thanks to his football talent, he received a college acceptance letter, but he didn't expect that to provoke jealousy in a classmate. During a game, his father came to watch, and the classmate recognized him. He taunted Ethan, "No matter how good you are, you still have a father like that. What have you got to boast about?" Ethan didn't want trouble, but the classmate kept provoking him. He'd had enough and gave him a warning. That one impulsive move made the classmate hold a grudge. That night, the angry classmate threw a lit firework into Ethan's house. Bailey noticed and chased him off, but when he turned back, the house was already on fire. Without regard for his own safety, Bailey rushed inside and woke the soundly sleeping Ethan, but by then, the fire had reached the second floor. Ethan and his mother tore sheets to make a rope to escape. After helping his mother and Bailey down, Ethan tried to climb down himself, but the rope snapped and he was struck by a burning piece of wood. The mother took Ethan to the doctor, and Bailey was left in the care of the police. Thinking Ethan was abandoning him, Bailey broke free and chased after the departing car. After just a few steps, he spotted the arsonist hiding behind a tree. Without hesitation, he pounced and pinned the culprit down. When the police caught up, the terrified classmate confessed everything on the spot and was taken away for questioning. Because of the incident, Ethan missed his chance to go to college on a scholarship. Although they stayed with his grandfather for a while, the shock left Ethan deeply discouraged. He lost interest in everything, shut himself in his room, and no longer played with Bailey. Bored, Bailey passed the time with the donkey on the farm. One day, Hannah came to visit. Ethan, crushed by his circumstances, broke up with her to keep from holding her back. Hearing his harsh words, Hannah was heartbroken and left in tears. Bailey watched Ethan's foolish mistake unfold and quickly brought his ball, trying to help him win her back. But a broken heart isn't healed that easily. By the time Bailey returned with the ball, Hannah was already gone. In the days that followed, Bailey often thought of Hannah, and it knew Ethan was thinking of her too. but a heart that's been broken that way may never return. Because of his leg injury, Ethan had to give up his dream university and enrolled in an ordinary agriculture school instead. On the day he left, Bailey held him close, reluctant to let him go. When Ethan drove away, Bailey chased after the car, running across fields, crossing roads, and passing through golden wheat fields until Ethan, also heartbroken, noticed him. Without a second thought, Bailey jumped into the car and snuggled close to Ethan for one last farewell. In the end, those who must leave cannot be stopped. Bailey returned home alone, dejected. He didn't fully understand what goodbye meant, but he knew one thing: a dog's purpose is to be with its owner. Now that Ethan was gone, Bailey felt his own life as a dog had lost its meaning. He no longer enjoyed football, nor did he care for the company of the donkeys. Often, he would sit by the lake, lost in thought, waiting for his beloved master to return. One day, Grandma noticed Bailey lying quietly without having eaten a single bite of his food. Worried, the elderly couple rushed him to the animal hospital for a checkup. A dog's life is far too short. His kidneys were rapidly failing, and he lay weakly on the examination table. He could no longer bring joy to his family. How he wished Ethan could be by his side at that moment. Just as he was drifting away, he heard a familiar voice. Slowly opening his eyes, he saw the face he had missed so dearly. Ethan was gently stroking him. Heartbroken, Bailey didn't want Ethan to be sad, but he no longer had the strength to play. And so, his short yet happy life came to an end, full of longing, but with Ethan beside him. Before he knew it, Bailey entered his next life. Although he lived as a stray, he had a loving mother and a group of adorable furry friends. Just when he thought he could live happily this time, he was caught by animal control while playing with his companions. His clueless, innocent life ended abruptly before he could truly experience the joy of being a dog. When he woke up, he found himself reincarnated as a German Shepherd. Not only was Ethan gone, but even his male parts had disappeared. This time, his owner was a police officer, and he became a unit dog. Though the work was demanding, it was straightforward. All he had to do was follow orders during searches and receive honors at the station. But what he didn't understand was why, no matter how well he performed, his owner never smiled. He could clearly sense a deep loneliness emanating from his handler. He wanted to jump on the bed to keep his owner company, to offer warmth and comfort. But every time he was shooed away, still innocent and confused. He didn't fully understand. He only knew his owner often stared at a photograph, lost in thought. It turned out his owner had once had a beloved wife, but for some reason, had lost her forever. Perhaps after losing someone so dear, it's hard to open your heart again to love and care all over. One day, the police received a report. A girl had been kidnapped. His handler brought him along for the search. Following the scent of the girl's clothing, he successfully tracked down the kidnapper. As the police closed in, the panicked criminal threw the girl off a dam into the reservoir below. Without a second thought, Bailey leaped into the water. Battling the rushing current, he swam desperately toward the girl and, risking being swept away, managed to grab her clothes and pull her toward shore. The strong flow and the girl's weight made the struggle exhausting, but his persistence saved her. Just then, he noticed his owner was in danger. Ignoring his own fatigue, he rushed over and bravely tackled the armed kidnapper, saving his handler, but he collapsed, wounded and bleeding.
This is K9, Unit K27. I'm gonna need immediate assistance. My dog's been shot. I repeat, K9 shot.
His owner held him tightly, begging him with anguish not to leave. As Bailey watched his owner's tears, he felt proud. He had saved the girl, and he had saved his master, but a deep weakness spread throughout his body. Although this life was short, he felt immensely honored. He had saved many people through his missions, but what lingered was the absence of Ethan, and the joy that had once filled his days. When he opened his eyes again, he had been reborn, this time as an adorable short-legged corgi. His new owner was a kind black girl who adored him endlessly and took him everywhere, but he could sense that his owner, Hilda, was lonely. She brought him to the movies, and even to school. When someone expressed interest in her, she used the dog as an excuse, but deep down, she yearned for love. Yet Hilda was a true homebody when she stayed in. She often ordered all kinds of tasty delivery. It wasn't long before she developed health issues, and Bailey was diagnosed with high cholesterol. With no other choice, Hilda took him to the vet. The doctor's advice was simple: exercise. So the two of them went to the park. But Bailey, used to lazing around, had no desire to move. He plopped down on the grass and refused to budge, no matter how Hilda tried to persuade him. Suddenly, he caught a distinct scent. Getting up, he saw a large black dog enter his world. It was love at first sight. He tried to pursue this large, mismatched companion, but was flatly rejected. Just when he thought he was doomed to single life, the big dog's owner turned out to be a guy from Hilda's school who had a crush on her. This reunion brought two lonely hearts together. Bailey witnessed their blooming love. Two people, two dogs, forming a warm family. The whole household enjoyed cozy nights in, continuing their laid-back lifestyle. Soon, the family grew. Not just one, but two new members arrived. The dogs became playmates for the children, and Bailey found a new purpose, protecting them. But as time passed, one day the big black dog was taken out by the owner and never returned. Not long after, Bailey, too, reached the end of this life. Hilda stayed quietly by his side, heartbrokenly reminiscing about all their memories together. Yet no one can stop life from ending. He slowly closed his eyes, concluding another happy lifetime. When he opened them again, he had entered a new life with a new owner. She was a smiling young woman who chose him at first sight from among all the dogs. But her boyfriend didn't like dogs at all. As soon as they got home, he tied him up outside, rain or shine. He wasn't allowed indoors. Compared to his previous lives, this one was much harder. He received no affection from his owners, and as the couple's relationship fell apart, the boyfriend took his frustration out on him. He drove him to an unfamiliar place and heartlessly abandoned him on a cold, lonely road. He stared blankly at the departing car, feeling deeply sad. This time, he didn't chase after it. He didn't bark or cry out. He no longer wanted to return to that cold, unloving home. He became a stray dog, unwanted and unloved. One day, while wandering in a park, he saw other dogs playing happily with their owners and felt a strong pang of envy. Suddenly, he caught a familiar scent, one buried deep in his heart over many lifetimes. A warm feeling rushed through him. Driven by longing, he began to follow that scent. He crossed busy roads and clear streams, until he finally reached the field of golden wheat. From his memories, the air carried a long-lost feeling of happiness.
Train? Moss? Trees? Horse? Garbage?
Bailey rushed eagerly into the wheat field, letting the stalks brush against his face. Nothing could stop him now. At last, he arrived at the farm he remembered so dearly and saw the donkey he had once played with. In that moment, all his memories came flooding back. After 4 lifetimes, he had finally found his original owner, Ethan. Now an old man, he excitedly ran up and licked Ethan's face, whining softly with emotion. But dogs can't speak. Although surprised by the dog's affection, Ethan didn't recognize Bailey in this new form. Still, he kindly brought him some food, expecting him to leave after eating, but Bailey stayed lying at the door. After so much hardship, he had finally come home. How could he leave? Yet Ethan didn't understand what the dog was feeling. Eventually, he took him to an animal shelter. As Ethan turned to leave, Bailey was confused. He didn't understand why Ethan was leaving him behind. Anxiously, he paced back and forth in the cold metal cage, but Ethan walked away. After returning home, Ethan couldn't stop thinking about what had happened that day. A deep sense of regret washed over him. The memory of Bailey lingered in his mind. So early the next morning, he went back to the shelter. He decided to adopt this special dog. True to himself, Ethan proved to be the best owner once again. Even though he hadn't yet recognized Bailey, he let him ride in the passenger seat, gave him a warm bath, and took him to get a new dog tag. Bailey was finally reunited with Ethan, but Bailey could sense that Ethan was still deeply lonely and carried sadness in his heart. Since breaking up with Hannah and losing Bailey so long ago, Ethan had spent all these years alone. Then Bailey remembered the familiar scent he had caught in the park and decided to help his owner one more time. Early the next morning, Bailey slipped out alone. He was determined to find Hannah, Ethan's lost love, guided only by that faint familiar smell. Thankfully, his loyalty moved fate. In the park, he came across Hannah's daughter. He followed her quietly, all the way to Hannah, who was now also in her later years, a grandmother with grandchildren. When Hannah noticed Bailey lingering and staring intently at her, she curiously checked his dog tag. The name engraved there, one buried deep in her heart, leapt out at her. In that moment, long-buried emotions filled her. She brought Bailey back to the farm that held both happy memories and heartbreak for her. When Ethan saw that it was Hannah at his door, he was overwhelmed. He didn't know how to face his former love. He heard the knocking but hesitated, afraid to open the door. Bailey knew Ethan was inside. He barked and pawed at the door anxiously. He didn't understand why was Ethan hiding when the one he loved was right here. Finally, Ethan gathered his courage and opened the door. There she was, the face he had dreamed of for years.
Hi, Ethan.
Hi, Hannah.
All these years, Ethan had never stopped caring about Hannah. he knew she was alone, too. As Hannah began to turn away, Ethan finally found the courage to stop her. He poured out his years of regret and longing, and so, after all that time, they found their way back to each other and at last held the wedding that had been decades in the making. Surrounded by family and friends, they fulfilled the vows they had never gotten to exchange. But Bailey still had one last mission. He wanted Ethan to recognize him. It found the old football they used to play with in the storage room. When Ethan saw the dog bringing him the ball to play, he was reminded of the special game of fetch he used to play with Bailey.
I am ready.
Okay. Go!
Ethan watched in disbelief, then whispered almost without thinking, "Boss Dog." Hearing that name, Bailey was overjoyed. He barked excitedly in reply.
Yes, it's me, Ethan. It's me.